All right, welcome everybody to the Window into Paris webcast live from COP21. Thank you for joining us to get an inside look at this historic event. My name is Megan Van Lowe, and I am the programs coordinator at Climate Generation, a Wells-Steger Legacy, which is a nonprofit in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And our mission is to educate and empower people to engage in solutions to climate change. And we recognize that educators are critical messengers of climate and energy literacy for hundreds of students each year. And so we are leading a group of 10 education ambassadors in our Window into Paris program. So they are currently now at the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change 21st Conference of the Parties. So that's COP21 in Paris right now. And so these teachers are engaging in the international climate negotiations as both learners and communicators back to their classrooms and communities. They represent diverse subject areas, grade levels, and educational settings from around the entire country. So this goal of the negotiations this year is to achieve a legally binding and universal agreement on climate with the aim of keeping global warming below 2 degrees Celsius. So that is what these talks are about this week with the entire world in on them. And today we have Phillip Haberman with us, who is broadcasting live from Paris. He is a teacher at Compassion Road Academy in Denver, Colorado. And we also have his earth science students in on the Hangout today. And they'll be submitting question and answers on the sidebar towards the end and kind of interacting with their teacher while he's across the world. So Phillip will give us a little inside look at this historic event and what he has been up to in Paris. So I am going to hand it over to Phillip.
Hi, good morning, or good afternoon if you're in Paris, which I am. But good morning, it's nice to see you guys. I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. We're going to start like we normally do in class with a little mindfulness meditation. So we'll start with our theme for the day, which is equanimity, which is a mind of calm and composure. Just kidding. We won't start with our mindfulness meditation this morning, but I thought that was a fun way to start off with it because I know how much you guys are missing your mindfulness meditation for sure. I want to start by just saying that I'm honored to be here with you guys, and I've been having a lot of fun and trying to get a lot of your questions answered for you. I created a little PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to share with you guys so that I can kind of walk you through some of the pictures and some of the things that we've been doing while we've been here. So I'd just like to start by saying just how honored I am to be an education ambassador for the Wells-Steger Foundation. I'd like to give big thanks to Climate Generation for giving us the opportunity to be at COP. I'd like to thank Denver Public Schools and, of course, our school, Compassion Road Academy. I'd like to thank Project Cam Opener because they've given me the technology to capture this experience and share it with you guys. And I'd like to thank my friends at Naughty Tie Company for helping out and giving us some this sweet bow tie that I'm rocking, and the scarves and the pocket squares for all of the education ambassadors. They've been a big hit. So we're in Paris. So we're in the city of love. It's a beautiful city. On our commute, we get to see things like the Eiffel Tower and just take in an incredible city with lots of history. This is our group of education ambassadors. We have a total of 10. This was taken with a state representative from Minnesota as well as a state senator, in addition to our leaders, Kristen Poppleton and Janet Brown, who are leading the charge of the 10 educators here. So our mission has been to learn about the events that are taking place here and then share those experiences with you in the classroom. And during this time, I found out some really exciting news. One of the things that I've been most excited about was to see the position statements that you guys wrote in a big book that was put together with position statements from students and members of the community from around the world. This is a picture of that book, and this book is going to be given to John Holdren, who is the climate advisor to President Obama, and I've been told that there's hope that this book will make it into the hands of President Obama himself. I'm super proud of all the students who submitted their position statements into this book and who were able to share their voice on this issue. So here's a few pictures of those letters that were submitted by my students. This is the space that we've spent time at. So this is ground zero, if you will, of the climate negotiations. It's broken up into two spaces. It's broken up into the blue zone, and it's broken up into the green zone. The blue zone is where all elected officials and high-ranking members of governments from around the world are, climate scientists, and also just other members of the scientific community. In general, we have 2 ambassadors who are in the blue zone, and the rest of our crew is in the green zone, which is an area that's open to the general public. And in that space, you never know who you're going to run into. I haven't ran into President Obama yet, but it's my hope that we will. So this is just kind of having some fun in that area. Let's see. What happened to... Can you guys still see my PowerPoint? Let's see. So one of the elected officials that we did run into, though, was the president of Mozambique. So this was when we first arrived at the site. One of the very first people that we met upon entering the COP grounds, the COP21 grounds, was the president of Mozambique, the gentleman in the striped shirt, and that's a member of his kind of cabinet. And he actually requested to have the picture taken with us because he found out that we were a group of teachers from the U.S. So pretty cool. You never know who you're going to run into. I've been really inspired by the students that I've seen participating in things such as painting this mural, as well as participating in just many gatherings around the COP grounds. It is great to see youth uniting and taking action and sharing their voice in these negotiations because it is so important. So I thought it was really special to see, and something that I thought that you guys would be really interested in seeing, that youth are a big part of what's happening at these negotiations. We have, it's part of our responsibilities during this to participate in daily roundtable discussions. So we have heard from a mix of elected and formerly elected state reps and senators, as well as business leaders. And during those presentations, we've gotten to hear kind of an inside look on what's being decided at these negotiations, why it's important, and just kind of get a full briefing and a different perspective on what's actually happening inside the blue zone. We were given the opportunity to hear from representatives from the indigenous community which is a community that I hold very close to my heart. And during this event, it was hosted by UNESCO and the National Resources Defense Council, and was as well as Robert Redford. We heard from a tribal chief, who's a gentleman in his tribal garb, as well as who is from Papua New Guinea, as well as 2 leaders from island nations. So we have pictured here Mundia Kapinga, Kathy Jetno Kajiner, and Minda Setra. And these are leaders within the tribal community, and they were speaking about how climate change is impacting their communities. The gentleman, the chief from Papua New Guinea, was incredibly passionate and spoke about how his forest is being impacted. He talked about how he did not believe that it was his forest or any individual's forest, but more that it was our forest. And he felt that if that forest disappears, then we all disappear as well. Minda, the woman who is sitting to the right of the woman in the black, spoke about how climate change has the potential to significantly impact her country, which is Indonesia. She spoke about how she was particularly frustrated with how new language within the negotiations had the potential to raise sea levels and really negatively impact her homeland. She was incredibly passionate when she spoke about how climate change is impacting where she lives. And the last woman, the woman who's wearing the kind of peach scarf, her name is Minda, and she is a poet and climate activist. And she shared how the difference between a global average increase of 2 degrees would put her home underwater, which her home is the Marshall Islands. Good morning. It's nice to see you guys. How you doing? So she spoke about how the difference between, good morning, Marcus. Good to see you made it into class. She spoke about how the difference between 2 degrees and 1.5 degrees would have her country underwater where she lives. So serious business. Each of them spoke from their heart. Minda has some incredible slam poetry online, and so I encourage you to maybe check that out, and I'll be sharing that with you upon my return. And probably what I'll do is I'll send an email with to Miss Kay with all of kind of some resources to share with you guys on things that I think that you'll enjoy hearing and seeing. Also, we've been having to blog daily about our experiences. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to read those blogs from each of our 10 teachers. My blog was featured, and each of these blogs is being featured in the Huffington Post, which is a respected news authority. So this is a picture of fellow education ambassador Peter and I celebrating the fact that our posts had made it into, or our blogs had made it into the Huffington Post. We have also just been using this as an opportunity to break bread with the fellow teachers on this trip. We have an incredible group of teachers from across the country who are leading science education, and we have a French teacher as well as an English language development teacher. But these teachers are leading in their classrooms and really passionate about providing their students with the best education that they possibly can, and so it's been really inspiring to work with them, spend time with them over the last few days. So I'd like to take this opportunity to answer any questions that you guys may have, and if you're having difficulty thinking about some questions, I posted some questions up on this slide, so if you'd like to hear those, the answers to those questions, or if you have other questions, that's great as well. So right now, I'd like to give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you guys may have.
All right, I went ahead and, Can you hear us?
Yes.
Really bad. Okay. Sean's saving the day.
Nice. Thank you, Sean.
All right, who has questions? All right. So Anwar has a question. Anwar, why don't you come up here and yes.
Got it. Do it, Omar.
Come on, Anwar.
You got this, bro. Come on.
I'm like right behind him.
All right. So
Did you guys come up with any ideas, something like that?
Are you asking if they've made an agreement?
Yeah.
So excellent question. It's good to see you, first of all. Thank you for stepping up and asking the first question of the webinar. That's a really challenging question, and it depends on who you ask. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but there's a lot that's taking place. So here's my answer to that question. As of right now, there's a lot of mixed feelings about where they are in a solution. Prior to this meeting, all of the involved countries submitted reports that would bring down global average surface temperature increases to 2.7 degrees. And the reason why they're having this meeting is because it's been decided upon and agreed upon that they need to bring that 2.7 down to 2 degrees Celsius. Right now, what they're trying to do is figure out a way to get it to 2 degrees Celsius. And actually, a lot of experts are saying that 2 degrees Celsius isn't enough, that they also need to bring it down to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The reason is because if it's only reduced to a 2 degrees Celsius increase in global average surface temperature, we're going to lose those island nations, like of those leaders who you saw on the stage at the Robert Redford event. So if emissions aren't reduced, then those global average surface temperatures are only going to be reduced to 2 degrees, and we're going to lose island nations like Indonesia, the Marshall Islands, Papua New Guinea, and other countries around the world. So they're working hard to bring down, to have each country submit a plan that brings down their emissions so that they can get it down, hopefully, to 1.5 degrees Celsius, so that those island nations are not lost. So right now, at this time, those agreements haven't been solidified. They're still being decided. And we'll see, we're hopeful that by the end of the week that they will have made some decisions, and they'll be able to share with the community what choices they've made and how they're going to meet their goals. Does that answer your question, Anwar?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah. All right. Come on up. Hi, Mr. Haberman.
Hi, Miss Destiny. Good morning.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Okay, my question is, what is the most beautiful sight you've seen?
Can you ask that again for me, please?
What is the most beautiful sight you've seen?
Oh, nice. Good question. Well, there are many. I would say that the most beautiful sight that I've seen so far was the Eiffel Tower from our metro. So I'm looking forward to getting out and seeing some more sights. We've been working really hard these last few days and just trying to get caught up on everything that's happened. So I haven't seen a whole lot of the city. We have the grounds for the convention itself. They've done a really good job of. There were 2 wind-powered trees, and these out in front of the grounds. And so they were on each branch of these trees that were fabricated were wind turbines that were generating electricity, and that was pretty beautiful as well. And if I had to say a third thing that was really beautiful, I would have to say all of the columns out in front of the grounds representing all of the different countries who are in attendance at COP21. So those are probably the 3 most beautiful things that I've seen since I've been here.
That's nice, Mr.
And I haven't been to Louis Vuitton yet.
Yeah.
But I am planning on making a trip to the Champs-Élysées, so which is where Louis Vuitton is. So I'll be sure to document that experience for you. Hi, Miss Ortiz.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. How are you?
Good. You look tired. You have jet lag?
No.
Just a late night?
Nope. I'm all caught up.
You're just having too much fun.
That's right. Yep. I'm running on delicious chocolate croissants and coffee. Hi, Miss Chandler. I didn't even see you, Miss.
Yeah, I'm running on chocolate. You know, that's a crash waiting to happen.
Oh, no, Miss, because you just keep them coming.
You're going to be in a lot of trouble when you get back. We just wanted to say hi.
Oh, well, thank you.
Welcome.
It's nice to see you.
You're learning. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about the climate conference,
No.
ladies?
Are you learning a lot, and are they learning a lot from you?
We are learning a lot. We have definitely been learning a lot, and I have a lot more information to share with our students about what's happening in ways that they can be involved, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with some of the teachers that are on this trip.
Nice.
So I've been talking to each of the teachers on the trip, one teacher in particular who has a full garden set up at his school in Shakopee in Minnesota. And it has a wind turbine, it has a solar farm, it has a whole garden, and I'm looking forward to figuring out how we can learn from him and potentially get something like that at our new school site when we get it.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Get your skills back and have fun. Don't do all that work and not have fun.
You know it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. All right, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Haberman.
Hi, Miss Garcia. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. It's nice to see you. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. How's your essay coming?
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't started writing it.
Well, you're gonna start.
Yeah. What's the most interesting thing you've learned or seen?
The most interesting thing that I've learned, one of the things that I've been really passionate about is the fact that the indigenous community, there's special language in the main report that comes out of the Conference of Parties. And right now, there's some contention about where they fit in the final report. And so I've been trying to get as much information on that as possible because that's something that I'm really passionate about. So that's something that's been really interesting that I've been spending some time looking into. Also, I'm really interested in figuring out how they're planning on meeting the goal of keeping global average surface temperatures increases at 2 degrees Celsius. So each country is submitting plans to the UNFCCC on how they're going to do that. And so they're bringing all that information together and trying to figure out how they're going to keep temperatures at a 2 degrees Celsius increase. So those are two of the biggest things that I've been spending a lot of time focusing on. I guess another thing that I was really excited about that I heard about yesterday from one of our presentations was the Vice President of Sustainability for Best Buy was talking about the work that they've been doing around ensuring that their customers can buy sustainably manufactured products as well as have a place to recycle those products. And so I was inspired to hear that they have recycled 1 billion pounds of electronics and that they are working really hard to provide incentives to their customers to buy sustainably manufactured products, because we play a really important role in reducing the increase in temperature through the purchases that we make and through our knowledge, through being informed about what's going on. So it's really important that we know what companies are doing and that we're supporting the companies that we believe in. So those are the three most important things that I've been spending a lot of time learning about. Good question. Bye.
All right, so we probably have time for one more question, and if you want to unmute your classroom for the last question so we can hear you.
All right. Oh my God, this is not a good idea. Okay, can you hear us? Okay, one more question, guys. Who's gonna be the lucky one? Last question. Yeah, you want to go again? Anwar has another question. Okay.
Nice.
Did you hear what happened in China?
Did I hear what happened in China? No, I haven't heard what happened in China. What's that?
The pollution.
So China plays an important role in this conversation. So if we think back to the mock UN debate that we did in class, our three biggest emitters were the U.S., China, and India. So they play a really important role in ensuring that reductions are made in the amount of greenhouse gases that are being emitted. And it's very evident that the choices that we're making are having a strong impact on the environment. One of the most powerful things that I've learned while I've been here and that I've experienced while I've been here is meeting people from around the world and from the countries that are being impacted. We have a responsibility in ensuring that we are maintaining global health as a leading country in the world community. And so it's been really inspiring to first see that 200 countries have come together to make an agreement and try and figure out a solution to these problems. And I'm confident that we're going to continue to lead the way. So good for you, Anwar, for keeping informed on what's going on in the world. And thank you again for your question, you guys. It's good to see all of you. I hope you guys are doing well in class. Ms. K, thank you so much for helping make this happen. I really appreciate it. I'm your rock star, and your efforts are very greatly appreciated. I look forward to seeing you guys when I get back, and I look forward to reading your guys' 5-paragraph essays upon my return.
Great, thanks Philip, and thanks Compassion Road Academy for your questions and for your enthusiasm for Philip while he's out in Paris. So if you're tuning in and from the public, thanks for joining us. And everybody can subscribe to the daily digest that we send out once a day this week that will have Philip's webcast archived if you want to check it out again. And see the future webcasts of the 9 other educators. And that is, you can subscribe at climategen.org/COP21. So thank you all for joining in, and you know, it really inspires us and gives us hope to see students like that and people like Philip for a sustainable and equitable future. So thanks so much for your hard work.
Thanks,
Bye.
man. Bye, guys.